Welcome everyone to the section 2 of our course, from where we will be discussing on how we can define different sections of a web page and give semantic meaning to our document using HTML. In this section, I would want to discuss semantic elements that we can use to define our document here. So let me just replace this title here, and I would want to change it to defining sections of a web page using HTML. By the way, everyone, one tip of advice again that I would want to share to you guys will be you practicing touch typing. It's going to be a good help for you, especially if you're typing certain contents into your websites. Becoming a touch typist will be helping you accomplish your job much easier, because again, you don't need to go and always look on the keyboard while you're typing your content into your document. So that's just another tip of advice that I just usually share to my students. Touch typing or keyboarding will be a good additional skill set for a programmer, because again, it will be helping you out improve your speed time, or it will help lessen the time that you will need to just go and retype certain contents inside of your document. So you can focus more on trying to work on the semantic structure of your document, or let's say for proper implementation of programs that you will be doing. Okay, so when we say semantic elements, we've already discussed this. So when I say semantic elements, these are elements with meaning. And in this section, I would want to discuss certain elements that we use to give meaning to our document. We have been discussing the importance of giving semantic meaning to our document in our previous lessons, and I'm sure that we now understand that it is important for SEO, or again, search engine optimization, and assistive technologies. Semantic elements that are used to describe a section of a document can really help give clear description of its use and meaning, not only to the browser but also to the developer. Some examples of non-semantic elements that were used previously to describe sections or parts of a document are the div element and the span element, which tells nothing about its content. Let me just go and type it here. So we have the div element and the span element that doesn't describe its content. On the other hand, when we say semantic elements, we have what we call the examples here. We have the header element, section element, article element, and the aside element. So we will be talking about these elements in the long run in this section of our course. You would see here that these elements are clearly describing or defining its content. Let's say here, we would know that this is going to be a part of the document that will be considered as a header. And this one will be a section of that document, of our document. And here we have an article that will be inside of the article element. And here we will have an aside. You would see that some websites would contain a div element that has an ID attribute, and then it will be given a value of header. Some websites will have an attribute or a class. Let's say some of them will be using a class instead of an ID. So these are names that we use for referencing certain parts of the document for styling purposes. And you would see that some of these websites will be indicating that this class is a navigation, or this class is a footer section. So if we do this, you would see that this kind of method for describing sections on our website will be depriving the HTML processors of valuable semantic information. Let's say a speech recognition tool might provide a voice command that moves focus on the main section of your document through the use of the main element. So that will be the reference of the HTML processor for the voice recognition tool to know that you would want it to go to the main section. We want it to go to the main section of our document. But if we don't have that and we use this, the HTML preprocessor will have a difficult time because there's no semantic information. We are not giving it semantic meaning by using an ID here, because again, this is an attribute that we use as a reference to a style sheet that we can use for applying styles in our document. Just remember that styling may be used to create a visual representation of headings and other components in our document, but if we don't use appropriate semantic HTML elements like the ones that we have here, we are not giving semantic information to browsers, search engines, and assistive technologies. Here, this is mainly for styling purposes. And here, these are mainly for giving semantic meaning to our document that can help browsers, assistive technologies, and improve SEO for search engines.